I began my journey investing through using a robo-advisor, and that robo-advisor is none other than the name of this video, Wealthfront. I had absolutely no idea what Wealthfront was, but I found out about it one day as I was reading through a financial blog on a website that I still follow to this day, and they really helped me with figuring out Wealthfront. Now, at that time, Wealthfront was still pretty new. It had only been around, I think, for maybe a couple of years, but it doesn't have a track record to show what type of return people can expect through using a robo-advisor. And at that point in time, I made the decision to begin investing with Wealthfront because I had no other idea about how to begin investing in the stock market. YouTube today is totally different because there are a lot of financial channels out there that show you what platforms they use for investing, such as Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, etc. But fast forward, rewind back to 4 or 5 years ago, there really wasn't many people talking about investing. And that was terrible English. I meant to say there really weren't a lot of people, but whatever, it's staying in the clip. And I can make fun of myself later. But let's talk about Wealthfront. I invested in Wealthfront, and it has been a very interesting journey for me. And because of that, I want to create a video for you all because there are going to be people who are going to continue to find out about Wealthfront. Wealthfront is continuing to expand its services. When I started with Wealthfront, they only offered the investment accounts, and throughout my time with Wealthfront, now they are also offering a savings account, which was amazing when it first started, and now they have a checking account, which is first in the last couple months they launched a checking account. So Wealthfront is really positioning itself to take over or be a really dominating platform within this financial space, and I think it probably will continue to grow in the future. With that, let's take a look into my Wealthfront portfolio and see exactly how it's been performing over the past 3 years. And at the end of that, I'm going to answer the question, is Wealthfront good for beginners, after giving you a picture of what I have experienced? And I have 2 answers for that question. So definitely, if you are interested, stick around throughout this video. Give the video a like if you find this information helpful for you all. It will help me so much with this video and with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more. I can tell you the next video that's going to be coming out about Wealthfront is going to be focusing more on the pros and cons about Wealthfront. Can't cover it all in this one video. And then lastly, feel free to comment down below. If you have an account with Wealthfront, let me know what your experience has been, what your return has been. Are you satisfied? And if you don't, let me know if you really are interested in investing or starting an investment with Wealthfront or any of the other robo-advisors out there. With that, let's get straight into my portfolio and see how it has been performing over the past 2 years. So, 3, not 2, 3. Goodness, I need to get it together for this video. Open up my account and you can see that I have a total account balance of $62.56.29. And I know it's not a lot of money, especially over the past 3 years that I have been investing into this account. And that's fine. I want this portfolio to show you how a return rate for someone who isn't investing a lot of money can look like over the cost of a few, or the period of a few years. The blue line is more of, or represents exactly what I have put into my account, every deposit that I have made into my account. The green line represents the movement of my account value through the stocks that have been purchased for me on my behalf by Wealthfront. So my account value today is reflected in the total balance that you see at the top, and all of that isn't what I've actually invested. So to give you a total picture, let's just dive straight into this information. And I just want to cover that very first drop that you see there on your screen, which happened around May, almost June of 2018. That was induced by me making a stupid decision. I decided I was purchasing furniture. I was in the middle of moving into my very first apartment. And I decided, instead of taking money from my savings account, I'm going to take money from my investment account. An account that was growing in value, I decided to take that money and put it into an item that's going to depreciate in value. And I never going to see that $2,000 again through furniture. Terrible idea. Don't do what I did. Just saying, don't do that. You don't want to do it. That was so silly of me. But let's take a look at the movement in the account between June of 2018 through October of 2019. And we can see that the account barely moved. That green line and the blue line pretty much stayed on par. We can see that the green line rose barely above that blue line a few times between that time frame, which was over a year, right? And we can see that it was barely below the blue line over that time frame. So there really wasn't much gains happening. But throughout this entire period, I was investing $100 per month. Now we can see there's a big spike up in October of 2019. And what happened was, again, I made another mistake, but this time it was a good mistake. I accidentally invested $1,000 instead of putting that $1,000 into my savings account while I was in the process of saving my emergency fund. And again, it was a good thing. I'm like, okay, well, I made that mistake. I'm just going to leave it in there and see what happens. And it just so happened that at that time, that was the first time my account really started to move a little bit more in the positive direction instead of being pretty much balanced and on par. And we can see that the green line and the blue line actually begin to separate there all the way through to 2020 until we started hearing about the virus and that pandemic that's currently still going on. And we can see that all gains were pretty much erased almost immediately. That's how quickly the stock market was moving. I remember seeing this and seeing how much the Dow Jones was dropping, and I was checking my account. I'm like, okay, I lost some value, but I'm still in the green. I'm still positive. And then March turned around and happened. And we can see I had the biggest dip in March, and I know it doesn't look like a lot based on this graph, but at that point in time, I have $4,050 invested, and my account value dropped all the way to $2,900, which is over $1,000 of account value, which is significant because that is over 25% of value at that point. And believe me, I was completely almost hysterical, but I chose to remain calm. I'm like, this is nerve-wracking to see my account dropping in value so much with no end in sight. Things were just really beginning to shut down and everything was happening, and I had no idea what was going to happen. And I figured, should I begin to just sell my stocks and try to salvage what I have? Because I had just finished moving, and I'm like, I'm not in the business of losing money. And since I'm not in the business of losing money, I decided to do nothing. I said all of the experts who invest into the stock market, they talk about this happening and they're like, do nothing. Do not sell your stocks. In fact, you may want to purchase more stocks when the market is dropping, because historically shown, the stock market has always come back, and it has come back stronger. And that it did. Let's look all the way to the end at November 2020, and we can see that I've invested a total of $52.70 into my account, and my total balance right now, my account value, is the $62.56 that I shared with you all earlier. So we can see that not only did the stock market come back, it came back with a huge force, that it went from a value of $2,900 all the way to a value of over $6,000. But keep in mind that I have been investing the entire time, keeping up with my $100 minimum per month that I decided to dedicate to investing into my Wealthfront account. Now, if we just take a look at the screenshot, and this is just a snapshot into what I'm going to be discussing, you can see right now I have this money-weighted return of over 39%, almost 40%, and clearly that's not what my return is. So that will be discussing my pros and cons video next. However, it has been a pretty good ride. So that leads me to the question I posed. Is Wealthfront good for beginners? And I believe it's good for beginners for two reasons. And it's going to be good for beginners for more than two reasons, but I want to highlight two reasons why I believe that Wealthfront is good for beginners. For me, my reason number one was that It removed the guesswork for me trying to figure out what stocks to invest in. For me, that was more of the real hump to get over, besides the fact that I had no idea where to put my money or how to get money invested into the stock market because I didn't know what vehicle to use and that information wasn't out there. But even if I knew what vehicle to use, I would have been faced with the question, well, where do I put my money? Which companies do I invest in? How do I invest my money? And Wealthfront kind of answered all of those questions. I understood that Wealthfront is heavy on ETFs and mutual funds and bonds and really keeping a diversified portfolio, which is recommended, which is what Dave Ramsey recommended. So, yes, I would say it's good for beginners to get you over that curve, to get you over that hill, get you over that hump, whatever you want to call it, to actually beginning to invest. Number two, it really helped me to be consistent. I had to set up in my account an automatic recurring deposit for my account. Now, I'm not sure if it was actually mandatory. I don't remember. It was over 3 years ago, so I don't remember if that was actually mandatory, but I do remember setting it up and basically not really changing it too much. I did change it from $500 initially down to $100 after I moved out on my own. And I'm like, okay, I really need to focus where my money is going because not everything that I was doing could go to investing any longer. But in a bit of a better situation now. But it really helped me to become disciplined and to remain consistent with that investing and just trusting the process. So because of those 2 points, I find it really important for beginners. It helps you to really develop good habits. You begin to see the type of stocks that this program is really investing into. And if it is doing well, you can learn and invest in those stocks all on your own. So with that said, if you are interested in opening a Wealthfront account, I am providing my affiliate link down below. What it's going to do for you is help you to get $5,000 managed for free, and I will also get an additional $5,000 managed for free with my account. But keep in mind, in order to open an account, you do need to have an initial investment of $500. So with that, I kind of liked my experience with Wealthfront. Clearly, I'm on the positive side. It's always a great day when you're making money instead of losing money. So I hope this video was very educational to you all and helped to answer some questions about Wealthfront and how your account can perform over the course of like 3 years, especially seeing what happens when you just take money from your account when really you shouldn't do that if this is a long-term investing account or investment account. Now, again, the next video about Wealthfront will be about the pros and cons that I've experienced through my time with Wealthfront. So again, if you do enjoy this content, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below in the comment section. I'll be happy to respond and read your comments. And thank you all for the support that you have shown me in watching this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.